Hello students, welcome back to Digital Media Production. Today we're going to be talking about a very powerful tool in Pixlr, and this is used by lots of other photo editing softwares as well, but today we're going to be talking about layers. So since we're talking about layers, I couldn't help it, we will be editing picture of Shrek and Donkey because photos have layers. So basically right here, here's my layer menu. I have the background. So the default layer when I first open up an image is it makes that photo the background. So adding a layer on top of it, think of it as a clear layer, like you put saran wrap on top of your picture and then you can draw on that and then we can move that around. So for example, I'm just going to go ahead and add a layer. So the first one I'm going to do is I'm going to add an empty layer. Now you see right here, here's an empty layer. And what I can do here is I can get my paintbrush and I can draw on this. So I'm just going to draw a quick little smiley face. Now we've drawn on stuff before, but what I want to point out is now that I've drawn, instead of drawing directly onto the background, I've drawn on this layer, I can now grab it and I can move it around. So I'm not messing with the actual layer background. I drew on this transparent layer, and so now whatever I draw right here, I can move this around. However, that's not really the effect that I'm going for today, so I'm going to go ahead and delete that, and let's do something else. The other layer type that we will use is a frame. So if I add a frame, I can start setting up my frame here and I can move it around. I can mess with the shape. And this is just creating some different types of frames. Okay, so if we want to use that for our photo, we can do that as well. But again, I'm not really wanting to mess with that today. So I'm just going to delete those two frames that I put on there. There are other things that you can mess with that, but let's do a shape. Now shape is just like it sounds, it's a shape. I'm going to expand this shape right here so I can make a little bit of a title, and I can say I've got rounded rectangles, circles, we can have lots of different types of shapes. The fill color is right here, so if I wanted to match it with this, the background, the houses, I can make it that. Other things that we can do with that too, but I'm gonna leave it like that. And then we can adjust the size of it. We can use this to rotate. And what this can do is add a little bit of flavor. I'm gonna use this as a frame for my text. So I see here I have a shape. I'm going to go ahead and add text. It comes up with Lorem Ipsum. So if I click the edit here, now I can edit the text. When your teacher uses you as an example for photo editing. Now I'm going to shrink that down so it fits inside my shape. Now in the text, I can also increase the size, which I don't want it that big. We'll move it a little bit there. Okay, so now I have this text layer. Actually, I want to shrink the text down a little bit. Okay, that's good. And then I'm going to recenter it. Okay, so now the order that I have the layers in right here is important because I have my background, and then on top of my background I have the shape, and then on top of the shape I have the text. I can grab these and I can move them around if I want to change the order. So now the text is still there, but now I moved the shape, so the shape is on top of the text, so I can't see it. Now, obviously that's not awesome. But what if I decided that I wanted my text to be in another location? So for example, if I wanted it centered, I would have to go here and grab the shape, go to the select tool and then move it. And then I'd have to go to the text, go to the select tool and then move it. Now that I'm done with this right here, I want these two to be joined. So what I'm going to do with this layer right here is I'm going to right click it, and now I've got these tools down here. I can merge down, merge visible, or flatten the image. Now, what merge down does is merge down is going to join this layer with the layer directly below it. If I say merge visible, that's going to put all of them that I can see together, so that would put all three of these layers together. And then flatten the image is going to put all of the layers together. So one of the things that I can do is I can click merge down, and now these two layers have become one layer. I'm gonna push Control Z so I can undo that. Right here I have this checkbox, so I can turn the background invisible, and now I can say merge just the visible, and that's going to do both of those. Let me turn that back on. If I say flatten, it's just going to merge all of them. Usually this is the last step that we take. When we've got all of our images done and we're ready to publish our image, we usually want to flatten it as the very last step. I'm not done, so I'm going to undo that. But I do want to merge these two together because I'm done with the text. So I'm gonna go ahead and just merge this down. And also while I'm here, I'm going to rename this to caption. This is my caption. So I can leave that. I've got my caption and I've got my background. Another thing here is that I've got the transparency. I can mess with this so I can make it partially or all the way invisible. If I know that this is where I want it, what I can do is hit locked, and that's going to make it so I can't move it around anymore. That way I don't accidentally mess with it. Okay, so if I want to unlock it, I can right click here and unlock it, and again I can click hidden or visible here. There's the duplicate layer and then the delete layer buttons here if we need to use those. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and add another image on top. So I want to go ahead and add myself into this picture. So I took this picture of me looking confused. Okay, so right now, for the sake of editing this, I'm gonna turn off the caption. Now here you see me, and you can't see the entire picture, and the reason for that is my canvas right here is larger than the the canvas is smaller than the actual picture. So if I scroll out, you can see that's the actual size of the picture. I'm gonna shrink it down just so I can fit my entire figure on there. And then I don't want all this background to be in there, so I'm gonna go ahead and grab my rectangle tool here. I'm just going to select myself. Okay, I'm gonna push Control X to cut, and then I'm going to delete this layer. Okay, now zooming back in, I'm going to go edit, paste, and now there's me. So I'm gonna go ahead and rename this. Instead of that long text. I'm going to rename it Mr. P. Now, this doesn't look good. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to reposition myself to be next to Shrek. Something like that. You can try to get the size right. Okay, and now this rectangle shape right here doesn't look great. It looks really amateur. So the way I want to clean it up is I'm gonna go ahead and grab the eraser, and right now I can take out big chunks, so I have it set at 340. And so I can just take out these big chunks. Careful not to erase any part of me. Okay, now at this point, I need to get a little bit closer, so I'm going to zoom in, and then I'm going to decrease my brush size, and I'm going to repeat. Okay, so now at this point, I'm going to take some time to do this properly. Oops, messed up a little there, so I'm going to Control Z to undo that. So I'm going to take some time to do this properly. So I'll stop talking and then I will speed up the video. I've zoomed in, changed the size of my eraser, and then zoomed out, and then repeated the process until I was able to cut most of myself out. Now I've got just me and not the background, so it looks a little bit better. Now if I go to the select tool here, I can, so you see right there I didn't edit out my feet, but as long as I leave that right there, I can move myself around and get myself into the correct position that I want myself to be. So I want to be like right here. Now you can actually kind of see right there I missed a little bit. I'm gonna go in and fix that real quick. One of the things I might want to do is make the background invisible. That way I can see the spots that I missed. Oh, I missed quite a bit. Let's go grab that with the eraser. Oh, uh-oh. We're going to turn this back on. Because you see, I just erased some of the background because I had the wrong layer selected. Okay, so let me turn the background back on, make sure I didn't accidentally erase anything. Okay, so let me make sure I've got myself selected. Turn the background off. I'm on the eraser, and I can erase. Up a little bit. There we go. All right, so that's pretty clean. Turn that back on. Okay, so now what I want to have is I want to be behind Shrek. So instead of editing Shrek in his entirety, I just need his arm right here to be in front of me. So I'm going to go to the background. I'm going to make myself invisible real quick. And then I'm going to just take this chunk of Shrek right here. I'm going to push Control C to copy it, and then I'm going to turn this invisible. I'm going to push Control V to paste it. Okay, now I'm going to go back and repeat that process to erase the background. So this might take a little while. We'll speed up again. Cleaned up, and you can see that it's a little jagged right there, and I could take more time to clean that up, but for the purpose of this example, I think that's pretty good. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and let me rename this one Shrek Shoulder. Okay, now I'm gonna turn on the background, and I'm going to use the move tool to line it up with self. There we go. That looks good. And then what I can do is I can take the Mr. P and put it right there. But now let's go ahead and put Shrek Shoulder in front. So now it looks like Shrek is standing in front of me while I look from behind him. And if we look right here, we can see that it's a little bit off. So I'm just gonna grab this and move it just a smidge. Okay, we can actually see some imperfections there. So I'm gonna take Mr. P and I'm gonna move that layer over to the side. So I'm standing more behind him. And that's looking pretty good. So what I want to do here is you can kind of see where the layers don't quite fit together. So with the caption invisible now, I'm going to merge all of the visible layers. So now I've just got one image here. And then I can take this blur tool. I've got blur, sharpen, and smudge, and I'm going to just turn the strength down because I just want a really casual blur. I'm just gonna blur these together. That's gonna make it seem like it's all in the same picture. You don't want to do this too much because the more you do this, you're gonna lower the quality of your photo, but just a little blur can help it all seem like it's going together. All right, I'm gonna turn my caption back on. And now to finish this off, I'm going to flatten the image, and I can now file. I'll save it. Shrek and Mr. P. Of course, I want to save it as a high quality because obviously this is art, but we'll go ahead and download it. And now I'm done. Thanks for watching the lesson on layers. Make sure to email if you have any questions.